How to get to 5D? 5D is a question of vibration, it's not really a physical trip. You have to raise the frequency of your mind in order to vibrate at a fifth dimensional level. Because your mind creates your physical body, your body will find itself in the dimension your mind vibrates to. There have been exceptions, and I can think of the light workers that are already of fifth dimensional frequency or higher, and they're held back in the lower dimensions because their high energy is needed in these lower dimensions. There have also been people who are of 5D mindset that have been picked up by flying saucers and taken there, but this is the exception, not the rule. So please don't message me asking for a saucer ride to 5D. You have to do the work. There's no way around it. You can't escape the process. If you were due to get a saucer ride to 5D, you'd be working with ETS already. For those of us who are sick, the body vibrates in a lower frequency than 5D frequency. That's why the DS wants to keep us sick and tired. Then our bodies can't leave this dimension. You have to work at trying to heal yourself too, because you may not get help from doctors. I find the types of maladies that the DS creates to prevent our ascension, most doctors are pretty useless at healing. Like fibro or chronic fatigue. By the way, if you have chronic fatigue, sleeping more doesn't help. It's not something that sleeping will relieve. The best way to relieve this type of sickness, I believe, is by feeding yourself 5D foods, the best quality you can find, breathing clean air even if that means wearing a painter's mask, living in a clean mold and dust-free environment, getting sunshine, and drinking clean water. Also keep one's thoughts as high in frequency as possible. Perhaps listening to binaural beats of a higher frequency would help as well. The way to do this Ivo and I describe now. Me, Ivo, I'm glad I put that survey up on our website. It asks people where they find our work, but also what and who they to see channeled in future. I keep seeing, how to get to 5D. I want to tell you guys that all of Ivo's videos that we've created, except maybe where we're talking about reptilian ships, dumps and stuff like that, talk about the path to 5D. We are giving you advice on how to alter your consciousness, how to raise your frequency above the matrix mind control frequencies, how to raise your frequency to unity consciousness. Or for you who think physically, how to have a happy life. How to be a nice person. Do you guys think that I'm just putting up videos so I can complain about my neighbors? Or are you thinking that what we discuss are maybe just ways to get along better with others? What Ivo and I are discussing is how to raise your vibrational frequency to 5D level. We have been all along. And the key is your ego has to be subdued. You have to spend your time looking at areas that cause you pain in life, like fighting with friends, your partner, kids, whatever, and find ways to overcome these problems. That is the route to 5D. Your life is showing you where it needs to be fixed all the time, and when you fix the problem you rise in frequency because that problem is no longer holding you back and you have become more powerful at fixing problems. Yes, really. I've also had a person recently tell me they wanted more spiritual videos and not everyday stuff. What do you think the spiritual path is made of? It's made of everyday stuff. If you are not seeing this, if for some reason you think they're different, they're not. They're the same thing. The fact that you don't think Earth is very spiritual right now is because we're at a very low frequency. So we don't have shining white people walking around, we don't see halos around people's heads, we don't have burning bushes, we don't have wise men climbing mountains and sitting there writing tablets, we don't have virgin births anymore. But we're still on a spiritual path. It just happens to be at a very low level, in fact third, early fourth dimension for most, but life is still a spiritual experience you can have a spiritual awakening with. It's meant for that. That's why you were born, to help your soul grow. Right now as we go through the Coco pandemic, we are facing a survival issue. Survival is a first chakra issue. It's about our lives right now. We're in a fight for our lives. The second chakra is about sexuality, creation, and bearing children. Guess what? The Coco jab can stop you from conceiving. So your second chakra is in this battle too. And then there's the fight for your constitutional rights and the right to say no to outside control. Guess what? That's a third chakra issue. Yeah, you're in a spiritual fight for your life right now. Pay attention to the storm and your reaction to everything, the news that's reported to you either through the people or the MSM, and what decisions you make about all these issues. Jab or no jab? Mask or no mask? Passport or no passport? Where do you stand? Ivo, in everyday life, would you prefer to spend your day angry or living a happy life? It is up to you how you wish to live, and those are the spiritual choices you must make. It may feel very gratifying to be angry at the world right now because you do not like the state it is in, but you must ask yourself, what better emotional states does your anger rob you of? You could be happy, feel contented, and more. In the spiritual quest you have three main channels to attainment. They are the development of wisdom, the development of personal power, and the development of a more loving heart. I will quote spiritual master El Moria as he has described this to you before. What you must look at in yourself is where you have a loving heart but no wisdom, where you have a loving heart but no power, where you are a powerful person but are unloving, where you are a powerful person who is unwise, and where you are wise but unloving, where you are wise but not powerful. How do these things look then? First of all, let me state that the goal is to achieve balance of these three. You are to become loving, wise, and powerful. This is the true state of a human being. If you are loving but lack wisdom, you may be doing much work for people who do not appreciate or even who abuse you. Me, yes, that's why I don't put up with people who abuse me. Ivo, you can choose to love all, even those who abuse you, but you can love them from a distance. When you forgive them their behavior, you help them to ascend as well. Me, yes. Ivo, if you are loving but lack power, then perhaps you are an abused housewife, or perhaps you are a man who is with an abusive wife, or you have abusive children. They abuse you because you lack the power to stand up to them. They usurp your power, and you must learn to respect yourself more and learn to set clear boundaries with others. If you are wise but lack power, then perhaps you are a very intelligent person who nobody listens to. People listen to others in power. You have been trained to, in fact, and this has been taken advantage of by your politicians. Me, speaking of maybe intelligent people that nobody listens to. Ivo, and this is a point, my love, as the power returns to the individual, those who have held power over you will become disempowered. Nobody will listen to them any longer and will disobey. If you are wise but lack love, then you will tell people things to help them, but you will not be kind about it. You will be very frank and perhaps abusive in your delivery of the wisdom. If you are powerful but lack love, then you will be very lonely because your ability to love others brings people together as a group. If you are powerful but lack wisdom, then you are a deep state member, because this description suits them perfectly. We like dealing with such an adversary. Powerful but unintelligent because we of the GFL are nothing of the sort. Me, you can go through all these things or you can read up on the ego. The ego always needs to be right. It can't admit that it's wrong because of the horrible feelings of worthlessness that come up whenever a person feels like a failure. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. It means you haven't fully learned the lesson. The ego is a judge. It judges things as bad or good, worthy or worthless, when in fact everything on earth serves a divine purpose. The ego likes to dominate, or sometimes it shrinks to a subordinate position in order to appease abusive people. I used to be like that. I got over it. I got over it by standing up for myself. Look at yourself every time you need to be right. All the things you do where you think you've got nothing to learn. You have something to learn from everything, but only if you have the humility to see where you can improve. If you think you're God's gift to the world, then you've got a huge ego. The other thing is entitlement. I can see entitled people just by what they write to me. Entitled people are boundary violators because they come first and everyone else is last. For the entitled there are only two places in the world, winners and losers, and they don't intend to come in last. This is gross egotism. Phenomenal. It's more fun learning and developing yourself through life, not thinking you're already perfect because you're the only person you're fooling. Also look at the way others react to you. If everyone hates you, guess what? You're the one who needs to change, not them. A good place to go is the 12 steps. It changed me. Codependence Anonymous is a great way to open up your defenses and start to see where you can improve yourself. Had I not done them, I wouldn't be channeling Ivo now. Or you can just pay attention to the storm, because this is Earth ascending as a collective. But I find it's hard to do and I need breaks from it. The energy is horrible.